How boomers destroyed America and left Generation Z nothing. Boomers inherited a world built by strong men. The boomer generation didn't create the world they grew up in. They inherited it. They walked into a society built by men who fought in wars, worked jobs so dangerous OSHA would faint today, built cities, factories, industries, and infrastructure by hand, invented the technology that modern people take for granted, sacrificed their body and their youth for their kids to have comfort. Boomers didn't grow this world, they received it. They were handed a society built by the virtues of hardship, duty, and responsibility. To them, progress looked like something that just happened. They treated prosperity like a natural resource, not a cultural achievement. This is why they couldn't understand how fragile of what they inherited. They never had to rebuild anything. Comfort replaced discipline, and it came at a cost. Boomers grew up in the richest, safest, most stable era in human history. Everything worked. Everything functioned. If something broke, someone else fixed it. This created a mentality that comfort was normal. Comfort was expected. Comfort was the way of life. And once comfort is taken for granted, discipline disappears. Instead of raising the generation through hardship and mentoring, they raise kids with participation trophies, easy praise, no consequences, no adversity, and no real challenges. You cannot raise strong men in a world where every difficulty is padded, softened, or removed. They built the society on the blank slate lie. Boomers were the first generation to fully embrace the blank slate ideology. The idea that all people are born the same, with no differences, no predispositions, and no natural talents, no limitations. In their mind, anyone could go to college, anyone could work an office job, anyone could thrive in a white-collar world, anyone could be a knowledge worker. This ideology rejects ancient wisdom, human nature, biological differences, cultural differences, generational patterns, inherited abilities, and limitations. Boomers dismissed everything that worked for thousands of years. They believed their comfort was proof they didn't need tradition. This became the foundation of our school system, our economy, our hiring practice, and our cultural expectations. They built an entire ideology on assumptions that aren't fucking true. This is why everything feels so chaotic today. When you run a society on lies, reality fights back. We're living in the consequences of a system that was built on the idea that everyone is equal, everyone is smart, everyone is capable, everyone is interchangeable. Everyone can thrive in the same environment. That's just not how humanity works, though. This is why today you see collapsing families, broken communities, confused identities, weak leadership, unstable institutions, skyrocketing mental health, and a generation that's lost and unwanted. This is what happens when a society abandons the fundamentals that built it. Boomers thrive because the foundation was already built. They had the luxury of being irresponsible because stronger men before them put in the fucking work. Boomers didn't need discipline to succeed. The world around them had been built by men who understood discipline. In their prime, a factory job bought a house. One income fed a family. Education was cheap. And life was stable. Crime was lower. Communities were tight. The economy grew every year. Everything was affordable. Maybe not TVs, but needs. Nowadays, material things are what it's affordable, but not basic needs. A minimum wage job in 1997 could support a family. A college degree today can't even guarantee you'll be able to rent your own apartment. They grew up in a world where prosperity was the default setting. They assumed this would always be the case. Like a fish that's in water, not understanding that they need the water to survive because they're surrounded by it. The weak men outsourced America's strength. Boomers believed that America could be a nation of smart people, doing office jobs while the rest of the world handled physical labor. So they exported manufacturing, outsourced industry, hollowed out small towns, devalued trades, pushed everyone to college, and replaced skill with credentials. All of this is based on the blank slate theory. Everyone should go to college because everyone is equal, everyone is capable, everyone is smart. But some people aren't built for paperwork. Some people thrive building things. Some people thrive in physical work. Some people need jobs that involve their hands, not a fucking spreadsheet. They destroyed the economy that made them prosperous because they couldn't imagine a world run by anything but comfort. And Gen Z inherited this collapse. We didn't get the world they had. We got no stable jobs, insane housing prices, college debt traps, inflation, weak families, broken institution, a destroyed manufacturing base, a culture that hates masculinity, and especially white young men, a job market that doesn't reward loyalty, no community, no safety network, and no path to stability. Gen Z men are the least desirable demographic because they inherit the least amount of wealth, but face the highest expectations. Boomers climbed a mountain built for them. Gen Z is trying to climb a cliff that has been stripped of all of its footholds. Boomers didn't plant any trees for the future. They enjoyed the shade of the trees planted by the greatest generation, but they never planted new ones. They cared only about their retirements, their equality, and their comfort. They didn't think about their children, their grandchildren, the future of the country, the stability of the next century. They became a generation of decadence, comfort without contribution. They bought houses for $100,000 and now they're selling them for $1 million, and they don't care who gets fucking crushed. They only care about they get theirs. Gimme, gimme, gimme. That's all they fucking care about. And guess what? This era is ending and the cycle is going to reset. Weak men create hard times, and those hard times forge the next generation of strong men. Boomers are fading out and collapsing. They created this rise. We are entering the part of the cycle where men rediscover purpose, hardship forces discipline, comfort disappears, responsibility returns, strong men forge. Gen Z will rebuild what was destroyed because we don't have the luxury of pretending everything will work out. Oh, just think positively. Everything will work out. The future belongs to the strong. We do not get to choose the times we live in, but we get to choose how we respond to those times. The world we inherited is broken. The system is collapsing, but the collapse is the beginning of the next generation of strong men. If we stay disciplined, stay focused, and refuse to fold, we will be the generation that resets this cycle.